Oh, hello, you want to be in it? Sorry, let me try that again. Hi, it's Brooke and Ivy. Welcome back to the channel. Today I have some Pinterest inspired outfits that I really need for the summer. I've been saving them for the past few years, have never gotten to them. This year they will get done. I'm trying to cram as many projects as I can before my vacation so that I have fun things to wear on my vacation. So to jump right into the video, there are two outfits that I have found on Pinterest. One being this beautiful apron shirt is what I keep calling it, with these pants. I really like the look of this. I'm really interested how it will fit onto my body because I find that my shoulders are very broad, so having just a straight rectangle is a little bit concerning. There's also a pair of pants, and then just to fully finish the outfit, the headband that they're using, I'm going to turn that into a bandana. The pattern that I'm using is the holly bandana. I really like the little added detail of all the eyelets on it, so I'm really excited to make that for the summer. The materials that I'm going to be using for the outfit are this beautiful sage green bedsheet. I found this at the thrift store. I just really like the feeling of it. It has a really soft texture, and I think that it's going to look really good with this striped bedsheet that I had also found from the thrift store. I have kept this bedsheet for the longest time, and I think that it is finally time for me to use it. For the bandana, I'm trying to match as closely as I can to the bedsheet, and I was just so lucky to go through my yarn stash and find the perfect shade of green to match. And I'm really excited to start this one. For the second Pinterest inspired outfit that I want to make in this video, if you've seen any of my other videos, you know I've been obsessed over matching sets, specifically like pajama-esque, and I just really like wearing those in the summer. In another Pinterest inspired outfit video, I had made this pair of shorts, and I still have a little bit of fabric left over in these shorts, and I think that making something in this style to make it a matching set will be really pretty. Now, going into this video, did I know that I was going to have two outfits that I wanted to make into sage green? Not intentionally. This is a complete accident, but I guess I'm just drawn to this color and I'm just gonna have to accept it. I really like this fabric. I want to use it up, and I think that making a matching set with these shorts is going to be really cute. There are some details on the shirt dress, and I think that I can add in some of this lace, specifically for the front ties. So let's get into making the second outfit. Fingers crossed we have enough material. Pay no attention to the mess behind me. The house is a mess. I'm trying to make these outfits as fast as possible so I can bring them to my vacation, and then I'm giving myself one day to do a full house reset before we go. Priorities, am I right? I'm going to start off with the baby doll dress. I think it's going to be really quick for me to make, but I'm going to do the true test and seeing how fast I can make everything today. Unknown challenge added to this video, but here you go. I've already mapped out all the pieces that I need to make, measuring from my shoulder down to where I want the dress to end, as well as measuring around my bust. With an extra inch added, I'm going to have that be the tightest part of the dress, whereas everything else will flare out. I'm kind of just winging it on the shape that I want the bodice to be, but I know I can tweak it in the end if I want it to be more of a deep V. After I make the bodice pattern on the front and back, start off by making the 2 tiers of skirts. Starting out from my bust measurement, I'm going to multiply that measurement by 1.5 to get my next measurement for the next tier. Take the measurement that I had made for the new tier and multiply it by 1.5 to get the last tier. That last tier will be cut out with the hem from the bed skirt just for a really clean finish and to give me one less thing to do. And both tiers are going to measure around 10.5 inches. I've cut out all the pattern pieces. I've marked everything out. It looks great. I only have a little bit of scrap fabric left, and I need to cut out sleeves. So we're going to try the best we can. I might have to do some Frankensteining just to give me enough width for the sleeve pattern, as I do want them to have some movement and some shape to them and not be super tight fitting. I tried my best at piecing the sleeves together, and I think I did a fair job, adding in some triangle-shaped pieces to add more of a flared sleeve. And to finish off the sleeve, I also cut out a long strip to add as a ruffle to the bottom. It was time to put it all together. I decided to have more of a reckless abandon with sewing this dress, while I finish raw edges with a top stitch and no serger. So unlike me, but maybe because I'm on a time crunch, I made the decision, and quite frankly, I was enjoying it very much. I made the ruffle for the sleeves, but because this fabric is so stiff, I removed it later as it was creating a weird shape in the shoulders. The first night I was able to also attach the front and back bodice at the shoulders and underarms, and then I was able to connect the sleeves and prep the lower tiers of the dress for gathering with 2 rows of long straight stitches. So we're on to the morning, and last night I had made the sleeves and the top part of the dress, and I think I want to take off the ruffle. I don't really like it, and I think that this fabric is a little bit too stiff. It just has a very triangular shape. I don't think I like it that much. I'm gonna remove that and then I'll also add in the other 2 tiers. All I have to do is gather down the larger tiered piece to the smaller tiered piece, and then gather down the smaller tiered piece to the top, and then I can add all of the finishings with the lace and just make everything look really pretty and nice. I think I'm going to serge across this open edge, then I'm going to attach the lace ties, and then I'm going to attach the lace across the neckline. And then I think we should be done. Ties looking cute. I think that the trim around the neckline is not going to sit the way I want it to unless I like really work at it. And I think I just like it a cleaner finish. But what I do think I want to do is cut this trim in half and add it around the sleeves. After that, I just have to fold over the edges of the front, and then it should be all good to go. I finished the front edge of the dress with my serger and a straight stitch, going around the neck opening as well. Then it was all finished. So one done. Next thing we're going to work on is the pants. These should come together pretty quickly. I'm honestly going to time myself to see how fast I can sew them. We're on a roll, we just gotta keep going. I pinned some fabric to the Rothwell top that I had made from Stitch Witch Patterns. As I folded the fabric to create the neckline that I wanted, along with figuring out how I wanted the fabric to drape down the front, I ended up with 2 pleats at the sides and then traced around all the edges with my marker and then transferred the shape onto paper. I then moved on to adjusting this pattern that I needed for the pants. I'm using the Sassafras set from Studio Sato, and I cut out the shorts pattern piece, but the set does come with a full pant pattern. Because I didn't want the front tie, I folded the tie on my paper pattern and marked down from the top where I wanted the pant front to sit, as the original pattern sits higher to compensate for the front ties. Now I have to move my cat off the fabric, and I measure how long the pants need to be and place the pattern piece onto the paper while adding the additional length. Because I want the pants to be fairly wide-legged, I roughly follow the lines on the fabric to create one pant pattern. I flipped the pant that I cut out over and have good sides together, then cut out another pant. When I cut out the apron dress, I measured how long I wanted it to be while using the original hem of the bedsheet, and placed my pattern piece in position. I cut fairly straight down to the hem with a little flare, but if I were to do it again, I would have cut out this front flap skinnier and more straight down. Now that everything was cut out, I started with the pants, timing myself to see how long it would take. For this pattern, it's fairly simple, with no side seams, but after attaching the pants together, I placed pins onto where I wanted to add pockets. I tried my best to pattern match, but I ended up making 2 back pockets and 2 front pockets that extend up to the waist. I added the waistband with elastic and then added on a decorative tie. Then I finished off the pants with a double turned hem at the bottom. Just over an hour, we have a perfectly good pair of pants. 2 pockets on the fronts, 2 pockets on the back, and really nice breezy wide legs. Alright, we have one last thing to do, and I'm going to try to do it before my mother-in-law drops off my boys. That is really the only reason why I've had so much time to sew all of these things and get them ready for our trip. Ugh. And obviously the kids are super excited to go, so win-win for everyone. I started the apron dress by making all the side ties and shoulder straps. For the side ties, I wanted them to be about 1 inch wide and placed 2 strips on top of each other, then sewed down both sides before turning them inside out. For the shoulder straps, I folded the strip in half and sewed down one side before trimming away the excess seam allowance and turning everything inside out. I ironed everything flat and then finished off all the strips with top stitching on each edge. I need to cut out the facing piece for this, so I'm going to do that right now. So I'm going to do a little test fitting first just to see how the sides are fitting. I want them to be snug but still be able to get in and out of this. So what I'm going to do is just pin the front and back of the long pieces together. Then I'm going to attach 2 ties to each of the sides to see if I need to adjust this so that it will pull in the way that I want it to. So here's how it's fitting right now. I made it purposefully a little bit bigger just to give me a little bit more wiggle room for when I got to this step. I have the straps in the width that I'd like, and aside from seam allowance, I might have to trim just a little bit over here and here. I'm going to take it in along the sides here to see if I can still slip this on and off over my shoulders. I think I want to trim down the sides to fit snug here, and I'm going to fit it pretty tight just because the ties are going to allow me to take it on and off, so I can tie them a little bit looser if I don't want it to be too snug. I'm going to try to fit it as well as I can and then mark that with chalk. I'm cutting the excess fabric from the edges with my trusty old trick of using the magnets to add a gap of seam allowance as I cut the fabric. I'm pinning the straps to the front and back of the apron with the length that I need, giving myself a 1/2 inch seam allowance at the sides. Then I will place the lining pieces good sides together to their corresponding piece to create a seamless join for the straps. I finished it all off with an understitch on the lining, going as far as I could reach. To create a really nice finish on the sides, I'm matching the sides together, pinning at the seam, pinning good sides together, the lining and the outer shell, sewing it down a few inches and repeating on the other side. I'm going to pin the lower half of that lining seam to the corresponding piece that it's going to attach to, and sew the rest of the lining to that piece. This step will be repeated 3 more times for the other lining and outer fabric edges. I iron down the seam allowance and continue to iron down the rest of the side in preparation for top stitching. I also tried on the apron and pinned where I wanted the side straps to go and top stitched them down. Now that the apron, dress, and the pants are done for this outfit, the last thing and the final touch added to it will be the bandana. I don't know if I've already mentioned this, but I made this like quite a few weeks ago when I was on a camping trip. It was the perfect pattern to make. It was just really nice to be sitting by the fire and just knitting away. I finished it off with the I-cord edge when I got back home, so I just need to block it and weave in all the ends, and then this one will be finished too. I was in such a rush to finish everything that I actually went on vacation and came back to now report how everything went. The apron outfit that I had made had turned out so well. I wore this for the travel days where I wanted a little bit more coverage, but still being able to have something breezy and not as close fitted to my body. I think it's obvious that I really like this color, specifically because both of these outfits have this color in them. But I think that this color looks really good with this bright white. If I was to make this apron dress shirt again, I would probably have the front and back pieces cut a little bit closer in so that there is more of a gap for the tying purposes. Also, I feel like it would just flow off my torso a little bit more. As far as the pants go, they worked out really well. I'm really glad I added in the pockets on them. I think with a pair of white pants, it just helps to have a little bit more coverage on the front and back via pockets, so that helped. Now that I've worn these pants for over a week, I can tell you that I do need to rehem them. I actually wanted to have a wider hem, but I was in a bit of a time crunch and just wanted something really quick and easy, so I just did a double turned hem. What's the good news?
Good news. Egg acquired.
2 eggs.
2 eggs acquired.
Lastly, for this headscarf, I think that it turned out really cute, but this pattern was really simple and easy to use, and I highly recommend it. Lastly, this shirt dress, so cute. I love how this looks. I was really happy that I could make the sleeves work. I was a little worried when I added in that ruffle cuff that it was just looking a little bit too charactery for me. I'm glad that adding in the lace was just like the perfect touch. This was just a bed skirt, and now it is the perfect PJ set. I love it so much, and I'm really happy that it is now in my wardrobe and I can wear it all summer. I think that combined, these together cost me $5. And that's just for the lace trim and the elastic inside of the shorts. The bed skirt was given to me for free. Everything else I already had in my stash, including the lace and the elastic, but that's really the only thing that I paid for. I have to go back and be a mom, but thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe down below. Leave a like and a comment letting me know which outfit was your favorite, outfit number 1 or outfit number 2, and until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye!
Mom, can I sing a song?
Sure.
Meow, 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 meow.
Cool.
And can I watch you do your thing?
Sure.